Welcome back to Drilling Sessions. Today we are diving into the essential first step of any developer's journey in C++, setting up your development environment. Whether you're a seasoned programmer or just starting out, this guide will ensure you have the tools you need to start coding. The first abbreviation we'll have to learn is IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. It's your main toolkit for writing, testing, and debugging code. It combines a code editor, compiler, debugger, and sometimes other tools into one standalone application. There are plenty of IDEs for C++. Some of them are targeted for specific platform, like Visual Studio for Windows or Xcode for macOS. The others are cross-platform, like Qt Creator, CodeBlocks, CLang, Eclipse, and more. Some of them are open source and free, some are not. To be honest, you don't have to install IDE in order to write, build, and run C++ code. You'll need just two things: any text editor and C++ compiler. In order to make the build process more flexible and smart, you might use some build system additionally. Because covering all IDEs on each platform might be overwhelming, we will stick to this approach instead. But what is a compiler? Well, for now you can think of it as a tool that converts your text-based code into an application. We will dive deeper into that later. For the text editor, we've picked Visual Studio Code. It's flexible, lightweight, and best of all, it's free and supports multiple platforms. As a bonus, it has a vast variety of extensions that can assist you during the development. For the build system, we'll use CMake. CMake allows developers to describe how to build simple and very complicated software systems with a single set of input files. This can be used to build the software on multiple platforms, from Android to iOS to high-performance computing systems. And last but not least, for C++ compiler we'll use CLang. Although there are many popular C++ compilers, like MSVC from Microsoft, GCC from GNU Project, ICPX from Intel, etc., we've picked CLang from LLVM. It's widely supported, has fast compilation, clear error messages, and handles lots of warnings. We are not trying to say it is the best, well, we just like it. We will start with the installation of all the tools separately, and then we'll bring them together and use them to build the simplest Hello World program. All of the links, terminal commands, and project files are provided in the description below. Let's start by installing VSCode. Head over to the Visual Studio Code website, download the version for your operating system and follow the installation instructions. VSCode is available for Windows, macOS, and Linux. Next, we'll install the CMake build system. The installation differs between platforms, so we will cover Windows, Linux, and macOS separately. For the Windows installation, head over to the CMake website, download the installer, and simply follow the installation instructions. Please make sure to add install tool to path environment variable for Windows installation. Installer might provide such an option, otherwise please do it manually. For Linux and macOS platforms, you can simply execute a set of terminal commands to install CMake using Package Manager. Next, you'll need a C++ compiler. Just like with the CMake, C++ compiler can be installed on both macOS and Linux platforms using Package Manager. For Windows, head over to the LLVM download page, download the installer, and follow the installation instructions. If you're using IDE, there should be even easier way for you to install the compiler. Most IDEs have the C++ compiler out of the box. With VSCode, CMake, and your compiler ready, let's configure VSCode for C++ development. Open VSCode, go to the extensions view by clicking on the square icon on the sidebar, and search for the C++ extension by Microsoft. Click Install to add C++ support to VSCode. Now do the same for CMake Tools Extension. This step is optional, but it will improve your development experience. Now let's set up a simple project. Create a new folder, open it with VSCode, and create a new file with a .cpp extension. Let's call it main.cpp. Now let's use VSCode CMake extension features to set up our CMake project. Hit Ctrl+Shift+P. This should open command prompt of the VSCode. Start typing CMake quick start and hit enter. The extension may ask you to pick your compiler. you should see installed Clang. Please pick one for your platform, then provide a name for your project. And once asked about library or executable, choose executable. Shortly, the project will be created and you will see build directory and CMake lists.txt file created next to main CPP. Our main CPP file should contain simple C++ Hello World program, which you can find by following the link in the description. Now, you should be able to build, run and debug your first application using corresponding buttons at the bottom of the VSCode window. Congrats! You just set up your C++ development environment and run your first program. Remember, the process can be slightly different depending on your operating system and the tools you prefer. The key is to ensure your IDE, compiler and build system are correctly installed and configured. Setting up your development environment is the first step towards creating an amazing C++ applications. With VSCode, a reliable compiler and CMake, you are well equipped to start your coding journey. Thank you for watching drilling sessions. Happy coding and see you in the next video.